Man, they like to get this
Oh my goodness.
going.
So cold!
Oh my God, cold. Oh my God. You literally, unless it's baking in here. He's literally an Eskimo. He's an Eskimo.
Stop it. Right.
All right.
Hi.
Hey. So we have Discovery plus one is what we have. Right? Yeah.
We got a Picard actress here. And what a plus one it is. So happy. I mean, can we talk about the beauty that is?
Oh my goodness. What you saying, Wilson? What you saying, honey? I can't quite hear you.
Miss Michelle heard y'all. You heard it here.
Oh, I don't think she's ever heard that before.
Oh my gosh, really?
Oh my goodness. Okay, well welcome to Trek Track. I'm Garrett Wong, your Trek Track director and moderator for this panel. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you to everyone for coming to DragonCon. I hope you're having a great time. But we are going to start right out the bat and just go into questions. And do we have our microphones set up here, or is it someone? Yeah.
And I want you to know that I am keeping score. That's right.
You're keeping score.
Why else were these provided?
A doodle pad?
I'm taking notes, people.
Wilson, you could do a self-portrait also while you're here. You could sketch yourself.
Wow. That's not one of my talents.
Okay.
I'm
Now we
only
know.
human. I can only have something.
Now we know. And I'm wondering what Anthony is writing. What is Anthony writing over there? And self-portrait.
He can't.
Self-portrait. He's doing self-portrait.
No. Can't.
But Wilson, you could fold that into a paper airplane and fly it. Okay, so we have questions. Starting over here. Oh, 1 second. Let me do some wrangling. Everyone good? Everyone's drawing. I love it.
Talk amongst yourselves.
The self-portraits are happening right now.
This is my self-portrait.
Oh.
Wait, no. I'm also drawing you. I'm drawing you.
Oh wait, everyone's drawing Anthony Rapp. Okay. So this is really a standard.
Wilson.
Pure white. Pure white background, very good.
Are you?
Wilson, I drew a self-portrait of you. It's a stick figure.
It's a stick figure Paul Stamets. I love that.
Curl.
I love that.
I led us astray.
Blue, can you show everybody yours?
Yeah, I drew Anthony, and then
That's
it's
it.
him with glasses, but it has a little arrow that says pale, and then it also says nerd.
And I just put a 10 because I always wanted to do this. Yes! You can't make your own dreams come true.
Wilson, can you incorporate that strut into a future episode of Discovery? Just walk across sickbay like that, please.
I thought I did.
Okay, we're starting with a question on this side here, on the right side, please. Go ahead.
Hello. My name is Darby. Hi, Tim.
Where are you?
Over here.
Oh, I see. Yes.
There she is.
My question is for anyone who wants to answer it. What is your favorite thing that's landed on the cutting room floor?
What is our favorite thing? What is your favorite thing that has landed on the cutting room floor? A
Can I
scene that
answer
just-
that?
Yes, jump on it.
Just because I'm baby. And I admit it. Okay. In season 2, when I came back to life, spoiler alert! I discovered a scar, and I go into the bathroom, look in the mirror, and look at the scar, and I was shirtless.
Oh.
And they cut it out.
What? Because there was too much beauty, honey.
That's what I
There was
said.
too much beauty. I can only have so much at times.
I love it. Okay, anyone else have any stories of scenes that didn't make it to the final cut?
I think of what didn't make it.
I just remember, I don't remember exactly what it was. Early on, there was a scene in an early, we get scripts and then they rewrite them. There was a scene in an earlier version of the script that I really liked. It was so long ago, I can't remember exactly what it was, but then it was cut out of the next draft. So now I've learned never to read the earliest drafts of scripts because then I start to get like attached to certain things and it changes. So, but I just, yeah.
But I like reading those things because because even if they don't use it, at least I have that information. I just I could use it or not.
I like to know and then gossip and then. It's fun to know when others don't.
Was there any scene that ended up on the cutting room floor?
I don't think there was. It's interesting because the first season, in the original script, there was that scene of the callback when Patrick, Picard, and Rocky back in the Federation days in their outfits when he goes and then it was gone, and I thought, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
And then he came back.
Yeah.
And I liked it. But I don't think, I'm not sure if there's anything on the cutting room floor that I'm not sad about.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Was there anything? Okay. All right, good. Let's move on to the next one.
Thanks, Darby.
Thank you. Is it another side or are we just one mic? One mic. Okay. Next question.
One mom.
Hi.
Hi.
It's nice to meet you. My name's Julia. And
Hi, Delia. I'm Delia Fisher.
oh,
I still come back. Random. Sorry.
my question was, as an aspiring actor myself, I think it's really interesting to hear about auditioning. And I was wondering what auditions you have been to in your life that you learned the most from.
Oh my goodness.
Anthony and I were just talking about our Star Trek world, and after my audition, after I had gotten the job, I thought Michael Chabon, who was our showrunner for first season, told me some really sage advice, because we were talking about, I actually got my audition of my Star Trek from a self-tape. 11 pages, thank you very much. It's rude, just rude. But when we were talking about it, and I don't know how it got there, but there was something about like what was it in the tape that made you think of me as Rocky. And he said to me, and this is a beautiful thing to hear and really put in your body. He said, when we watched your tape, you told us who Rocky was. So make a strong choice. Know who your character is. Make the decision. We always think that we're trying to please the person who we're auditioning for. We're like, oh, I wonder what they want. I hope this is what they want. They actually don't really know what they want. They wrote something, and they're literally hoping that somebody walks through the door and brings it to life. And they may have kind of a vague idea of what it is, but if you have a strong point of view, you make a strong choice, then you tell them who that character is.
Yeah.
There you go.
When my first audition for Rent and my callback for Rent, I screwed up in both of those auditions. I did. I jumped a verse when I sang These Are My Religion, the original audition, and in the callback I had to learn the song Rent from the show, the title song, and I started singing on the wrong notes. I got the role. And I don't say that like, ooh, yeah, I got the role. But like, people worry so much about being perfect in an audition. And it's not at all what's most important. And if the people on the other side of the table or watching the tape are concerned with you being perfect, then you probably wouldn't want to work with them anyway, because that's not where the real special stuff happens.
Such sage words. And actually, we did just have this conversation. I told him I did 2 takes of that 11-page scene. The first one, I really enjoyed the beginning part of my stuff. I didn't like the second part. The second one, the reverse. So I never sent them one perfect take. There was no such thing as a perfect take. Still sent it off and still got the job. So.
Yeah, I mean, don't be afraid to think outside the box as well. Sometimes, I mean, if you look at if you were sitting there over the casting director's shoulder and looking at all these self-tapes coming in, almost 99% of them they're all about the same. And there's 1% that someone thinks something totally outside the box. I had this is when we went in person for auditions. Yeah, back in the day, yeah. I did a commercial audition for Big Red Chewing Gum, and the guy said, "Oh, we're bringing all 5 people at a time, sitting on stools. We're going to ask you one question. Just answer, slice of life, just your regular voice. Don't try to be all commercially." So the first person was, "What are your hobbies?" And the second person, how long you been in LA? My question was, where are you from? And I said, California, Indiana, Bermuda, Memphis, Tennessee, back to California. And the guy running the audition goes, oh, military brat, right? And without skipping a beat and a straight face, I'm looking at him and I said, no, actually my parents are heroin importers and we stayed one step ahead of the law. I kept a straight face. The other 4 actors, they're like, what the? The guy running the audition, he's videotaping it. He's got Wrigley, all the people sitting behind an office screen, and they're hidden. They're watching. He gives me the kill system. He's like, how dare you ruin this? Yeah. And I kept a straight face, and I broke into a smile, which meant I'm just kidding. I look at the office screen, Wrigley's all, they're laughing so hard, it's moving. I booked that job right there. Thank you. So believe in yourself and think outside the box. Okay? Thank you very much. Next question, please. Oh,
Tilly cosplay.
It's Tilly.
Tilly cosplay.
Tilly cosplay.
Nice.
Honoring the great Marcy Wiesmaster.
For those of you who were at the other Discovery panel, that is Anthony Rapp's nickname for Mary Wiseman. It's Marcy Wiesmaster. Yes. Hi, Tilly.
Hey there, I'm Kathleen. I know that you guys have a ton of fun on set, so my question to you is, have you ever participated in an on-set prank or been the victim of one?
Ooh.
I like scaring people. That was so loud.
How blue have you scared?
Well, Sonequa is the big, Sonequa is the easiest person to prank and to scare. And I don't have to try very hard. Like, you can stand behind her and be like, hello? She's like, ah! Very, very easy. But then she gets really excited and laughs a lot, so it's very funny.
Because she'll jump on people. Just jump on them. You'll stand in and she'll jump on them.
Like a full, she'll jump. I can carry her, and I'm small.
She's
she'll
tiny.
Jump, legs around my waist. Yeah, she's like, ah! And then it's on me, and then, yeah.
Just picturing that image right now. Thank you.
He's called the producing director, so he's like in charge of all the directors that come, and then he also directs a lot of our episodes. So let's do me. He's a prankster, and he told Sonequa, myself, and Mary that he has a twin brother, and he showed us text messages from him. Oh, you really did? Yeah, and Sonequa especially, she's a very pure-hearted person. She really believed him.
Oh, you can tell her the aliens have arrived. She'd be like, we're ready. I'd be like, I'm sorry, wait, I'm kidding. Oh, okay.
But he does it with also very straight face, so you kind of want to believe him, but no. So he's a constant, you never know when he's telling you things that are true or not true.
Wilson, do you ever prank Anthony, or does Anthony ever prank you, ever? No?
No. I'm not a prankster at work.
You're a professional.
I'm a journeyman.
Okay.
Work very seriously.
Okay, Michelle, on card, any crazy pranksters there?
What did Patrick prank you with? How did he prank?
Stuart prank.
Saran wrapped my toilet. Could you imagine if I'm just doing this for fun? Right here. One more round to go by. We haven't really do any pranks, but like when Jonathan, you guys know Jonathan Frakes, when he's on set, and when he's on set with Patrick, I mean, there's shenanigans that happen all the time.
It's like a tsunami of energy. It really is.
Tsunami,
Okay,
yeah.
but you have not been a victim of a prank?
Nope.
Or, okay, good.
Not yet.
You're immune so far. Okay. All right, thank you very much for that question, Tilly. Appreciate that. Next question.
Hi, I'm Karen. So I was here last year, and the woman who played Tilly was here last year, and then she's gone, and I'm still in denial. I think she's coming back, but mostly
She's coming back.
mostly, I'm like, are any of you leaving?
Oh my God!
Jeez.
Leaving the show?
Like leaving the show.
You're fun. I like this. This is chaotic and I like it.
They may check out mentally, but they're not leaving the show.
Why do you know something we don't know? I'll pay you.
I wish a motherfucker would. Okay? Oh, here we go. Like if she's asking if any of us are gonna die. I'm like, at this point,
Gonna die?
leave the show.
Yeah.
But what it took to get here,
Yeah.
I'm not going. I love my job.
We were filming on Thursday,
I love it.
season 5. So yeah.
Maybe my favorite season yet. First.
Ooh. Can't say anything more about it. Don't ask us questions. We cannot talk about it. We cannot talk about it.
That's it. That's all I can say.
Can you use that voice as Colbert?
That's it. That's it. Your heart sees the regular. You know what I mean?
Well, come over here. I gotta scan you.
I'm gonna look on your hologram. I'm gonna look on your hologram y voy a ver si estás enfermo o no. You're okay. He's going someplace. All right, sorry. You guys, I can't. You get an improvising role, and this is a whole different thing. I mean, it is.
We have a lovely.
Yeah, we have a lovely question right here. Go ahead.
Hi. So, since all 4 of your characters have an element of queerness to their narrative in some way or another, I was wondering how it is being queer, the faces of queer Trek, especially now that it's less of a new thing.
I really thought you were going to ask how is being gay, and I was how is gay?
Blue pulls out a flow chart. Here we go. This is how gay is.
I color-coded it.
Yeah, color-coded.
I am very proud to, stand loud and proud. It's an honor and it's a gift. I'm glad that Star Trek is, smart enough and brave enough to tell the stories that have been here since the beginning of time.
Amen.
Anybody else?
Wilson?
He's been telling you what it's like to be a gay man for the past.
Started it.
You started it. I couldn't be more proud of the fact that in the span of 30 years, we have used the medium of television and film and culture to educate and inform people about who LGBTQ people are in reality and not the monstrosity that some may deem us to be. And you know that because we've been able to tell you who we are and that we've used art in order to do that. And that in the span of 30 years when I first started, we went from just me to all of these people from various places, colors, and experiences, and genders. And in telling those stories, they've not only freed a community, but they've freed an entire society to look more deeply at who they are, who they actually are. And in these last 2 years, when it's been so difficult because of COVID and the way that we've been isolated, that we've been able to take that time, so many people have also come out, so many more people, because we started to realize, much like Dr. Kober, that when we're given a second chance at life, we have to make the most of it. And how can we not make the most of it if we are not actually living our true selves?
Yeah.
And those are the stories we tell in Star Trek Discovery.
The Reverend Wilson Cruz, right here. Anthony,
You keep dropping the pen.
It takes around.
Anthony, do you have anything to share with that? Well, we'll go to Blue.
I want to say, like, Blue and Ian, who's not here with us because of sad COVID, but that they are, you know, Gen Z, millennial folks who are the youngsters who are also, we're standing on their shoulders because the way that they and their cohorts, that generation are demanding to be seen fully. Not just like asking permission, but demanding it is incredible, incredibly inspiring also.
Yeah.
Blue?
Sorry, you made me weepy. Yeah, I mean, we are fully standing on your shoulders, and now it's a weird circus where everyone's standing on each other's shoulders. I'm not trying to make this funny. Yeah, there is a huge change within the youth that is growing up right now. That, like you said, is incredibly loud, mainly out of anger and exhaustion, but also able to do so because of technology and because of community. And they're so fierce. Like, Ian is younger than me, and when I met Ian, they helped me figure my stuff out that I wasn't able to do when I was younger. And now I come to these, and you all that come up to my table and say, like, I didn't have any of that on screen as a kid. I didn't think I would. I would say the same for me. I didn't think that was the thing. I didn't even know what I was real or valid. So to have that now, to have that freedom spreading and leaking, is wild. And to come here to then meet the people that I watched when I was a kid, and I watched on screen, and I watched bootlegs of, I'm so sorry, and to have them validate me as well is like crazy. So yeah, I mean, this means as much as you all make it mean. Like, it gives it meaning that you're all here. That's why it matters. That's right.
Well said. Yesterday at the Discovery panel, Wilson made me cry. Today, Blue makes me cry. I'm leaking every day. I don't wait till tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Next question, please.
Hello, I am Judy Helen. It is my honor to ask you all a question. All of you are heroes of mine for various reasons. Thank you for your authenticity in that last question as well. As you all may know, we have a big political run here in November, and you guys featured hometown Stacey Abrams. Driver of political change.
We all know that.
Yeah, in your dreams.
Die hard.
Certain fellow named Gene Roddenberry, but he really did believe that if you hold up a picture of what can be, it can start to take root in what is. And there were areas that he wanted to have a gay person on screen at some point. George Takei apparently talking about it, but he was like, back then it couldn't happen, whatever. It took a long time, it took too long. But Trek has always said we want to talk about the world that can be. And that in and of itself is inherently political, because it's about moving people. And politics is just people talking, people, what they believe to be possible is what can be possible. So it's all, so if you have these images and these people working together, black woman up there with a white guy, with a weird Vulcan person, with a, and no one's talking, like, that's not an issue, that holds up that's something that's possible. In our show, we have a black woman captain, and that's possible on Starship, so as well as then specific stories that feel more directly with some of these things, but just in and of itself, it's always had on its mind trying to make the world a better place, which is inherently political. Reverend Cruz?
All right, first of all, I'm not good. I think, you know, it comes down to the fact that Star Trek itself is defined infinite diversity and infinite combinations.
Yes.
If that's true, and if that's that is our aim, progress towards that has to be modeled, right? That's what science fiction does for us. It helps us imagine what that's going to look like and what that's going to take. And so I think about, you know, what Star Trek poses as a possibility for humanity, right? It's what we're saying on the show is that we're stronger together when there is a diverse point of view. We have it's a more efficient way to the best possible result. And that is inherently political because you have to come to consensus, you have to draw on expertise. You know, that's political. Politics is about how do we work together to create a solution. Or at least it used to be. We used to agree, respectfully, we used to agree that on some principles, right?
Yeah,
That no
you
man
guys throw
is
it out.
what? Above the law. No man is above the law because we are a nation of not what? Men. Laws. So if that's true, and we used to agree on that, then the world that we are talking about in Star Trek is one that we aspire to create. The only way we get there is if you and I, who get to share this moment in time on this planet, make the right choices.
What those choices are? Yours? Your choice? I knew it's
How
pretty
they
good.
inspire you to make it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Blue, any further comments?
Jay said it all pretty well. Yeah, I guess I remember growing up and not having to have that much knowledge of what was going on politically, and then having that all change incredibly quickly, and now having younger and younger people need to know the ins and outs of how politics work in our country. But it's been a really beautiful thing to see, like not only adults teaching the youth, but youth teaching the youth, and their points of view being different than some adults, and being able to look at some of our politics and be like, this is like this and like this goes on this part, that's bullshit, it's wrong. Like this is, you know, these are like 10-year-olds.
No, I think what's incredible about this generation, if I may just for a second, is that you guys have helped us realize what we should not have accepted all along. Right? It was we had the gauze of the trauma of AIDS, right? That was, that was real, and a lot of that was ugly, and we were still dealing, as we are, white supremacy. And
bullshit.
There were big problems, and there was the Cold War and all of that. That was our stuff. But we agreed on some stuff that was unacceptable. We let stuff happen that shouldn't have happened. It's why we too existed. It's why why we
They come here.
admit the failures of admitting and accepting the science about gender, right? That all of that is real.
Oh God, more lectures, more
Right
lectures.
now, because you are seeing the world the way that it is, are forcing us to see it through your eyes. And so now it's our work to join with you and start making the right changes.
And the status quo is going to fight tooth and claw to hang on. So we have to fight harder to get those last claws out.
It's powerful. Yeah, I'll just jump into because I see this as mine. You know, I think because we all know that the very world is to hold a mirror up to society, right? The fact that we have all these different Star Treks now, all these different storytellings, and we're all true to that doctrine, my hope is that because art is the sort of common ground that you can sort of unite people with, music, dance, sculpture, painting, sculpture, whatever. We can get everybody in. So it's almost like what we're trying to do is we're telling these stories of inclusivity and otherisms and diversity, and telling these truths that we are all walking in right now. And we're going to, ignite the power in you guys to go out and vote and to change this world. Because that's what it is. So when you ask what is the political push of Star Trek, it's our artistry of trying to convey these stories that, sometimes across the dinner table it's challenging to have, but you can actually go, hey, come sit next to me, let's watch this little sci-fi show. Look how kooky. Look, they're being so mean to people who are, green. I wonder why. We should examine that. But that's the beauty of sci-fi, is that we can tell these uncomfortable stories and have uncomfortable conversations so that we can avoid uncomfortable situations. So I'm hoping that what we're doing in the work that we do as artists on Star Trek, on all the different shows that we're doing, being able to find whoever's niches here, if you want to watch animated, if you want to watch this or whatever, we got it all. But what we're doing is we're telling the story of hope, of inclusivity, of the life in the world that we want to know. And I gotta say, while you guys were talking over here, and I was looking over at Anthony, I looked over this side over here at my sister Wakanda here, holding this little Nixie baby here, and there's her man right over there, this white man. I'm black and white, and that's what we're fucking talking about. That's what we're talking about. This world, this beautiful, right here, that's the political push. I just got all the time.
You did. Would you like to drop this?
I need to drop it.
There you go. All right. Well said, all of you. Next question, please.
Hello, I'm Ian, and my question is what your favorite scene was.
Can I ask what your cosplay is? I can't see you. Are you from Stranger Things? You are.
So cool. How old are you? Is it cool for you to tell us your age, just because it's interesting?
I'm 11.
All right.
11, yeah.
Okay. Let's start with Anthony. What's your favorite scene?
One of them was in the end of season 3 when I got shot out of the airlock with that whole sequence, getting to do that really intense emotional stuff, to chew into that meal of that material with the beautiful human being, the Steve Martin and directed by Jonathan Frakes, who, he's a legend in Star Trek, but he's also a phenomenal human being, a great director, and he's just somebody who really cares about holding that. So that was one of my favorite scenes. And then the other favorite scene probably is that very first bathroom toothbrushing scene, because it was such a wonderful way to tell the story of our relationship in an intimate and simple way. We knew we were kind of making history, but we didn't know is this really are people gonna get it? And then when it aired, people were they really got it. So that was cool. Welcome.
I have so many. I have so many, and that one for sure. That's just not to. This is gonna sound. That's TV history, right? That's TV history. So for sure. Boom. Boom. Ese. And I just think definitively for the character, there's the moment at the end of season 2 when we're jumping through the wormhole and Paul has been impaled
by that metal thing, right?
in his, and so we have essentially had said our goodbyes. And we find out in that moment as he comes into sickbay that Culper, Dr. Culper, who has decided to stay on Discovery, and in seeing Paul there, he gets to, and while saving his life, gets to make the choice to not only remain with the man that he loves, but that he's going to go off into the future with him. And that just sets up the rest of his arc. It's a definitive moment for him. Also, I didn't have to deal with anybody else's lines.
And I was like,
Paddle spray, shut up. I have a great monologue. Sit there. With your little nipple. I did have to wear sunglasses in that one though, because you're so bright.
Okay, Blue, favorite scene?
Those are small nipples.
They're like little cat nipples.
Yeah.
Who knew this would be a nipple talk, you know? Who knew?
I think it was a memory scene in the first real episode that I did sort of in full, where Ian and I are in the old ship that we lived in the music room, just fiddling with the cello, and I give Gray the quilt. Because that was maybe the third day that we met and spoken. So there was something so sweet about filming that day because it was meant to have that energy of, 15, 16-year-olds dating, which is nervous and we were nervous and we were both really young and this was a huge job for both of us. And we were also just meeting, and it was this giant set, and we were on a ship, and there were 400 people there, and they were it was such a beautiful setting, and then it felt funny, because it was such a beautiful, surreal set to be in, and so many professionals, and then we were there hello, and we felt so dinky, and small, and awkward, and strange, which was perfect for what we were meant to be doing. So it just felt fun because we didn't have to do anything really, but we were truly getting to know each other during that, which was just really sweet.
And both of you will have that memory forever.
Forever. Yeah.
Fond memory.
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle.
Yeah, I got the same here. There's just a little list, so many. I mean, I gotta say, first season, my first scene, which was my first time meeting Patrick, was the scene where Rafi sort of yells at him, and I was like, oh my God, I'm shooting on Patrick Stewart, this is crazy. And I was freaking out, my knees were shaking so much I could hear them. I'm like, what is the chatter? My kneecaps. But I love that scene, because I thought it really told you a lot about Rafi, and it just, I got so much out of it. Second season, anytime I work with Jerry, it's delicious. Can't even, Oh, but I will say that in the first season, shooting the scene with Rios, with Santiago Caveras, when he used the 5 hollows, I mean, super fun, crazy, totally different kind of concept of how to shoot. This one actor, 4 different stand-ins. It was really, really fun. But also in second season, Rafi's journey with Elnor. I don't know if I'd say it was fun, but it was definitely challenging and emotionally just powerful and taxing for me, and I was amazed that we were able to get through it. And then the third season, oh gosh, guys, just wait till you see. I can't tell you.
Okay. So Michelle, I'm just gonna say, it's not my favorite scene from Picard, but it's my most shocking scene from season 1 Picard. When you have that initial spark with Seven and the handhold, I was like, but I wanted to be Mr. 7 of 9.
Get in line.
Take a number. Okay. All right, next question, please.
Hi, I'm from Canada, so I want to know how you reacted to your first Toronto winter.
First Toronto winter. My first Toronto winter was in 1987 when I filmed eventually babysitting up there. It's damn cold, but I was born in Chicago, so you know. And actually, we then went to Chicago. Chicago was colder, so you know.
Well,
35 years, 35th anniversary of the next big. 10 years before Lou Del Mar was born.
I was okay. I got a good coat. I liked wearing it, which is important. Because if I don't feel pretty in it, I'm gonna be cold. But I liked it. Okay. I understand.
If I don't look pretty in it, I'm going to be cold, because then you won't wear it because you don't look good in it. Yeah, understand.
Yeah.
Blue, Toronto taps the culture.
I got my little coat. I wore it. It was really cold.
Also, just the last one too. The last winter that we were in Toronto was the COVID winter of 2020 into 21, and it was just cold and isolated.
Cold and sad.
We could have been out in space, actually. We really could have. That's how it felt.
I have a fun story about the Toronto winter from last season that I was hoping to be able to tell at a convention. Because the episode where Mary and I went out into that, like the Tundra world, the frozen ice world, that wasn't green screen, that was real. We went to a quarry in the middle of the winter, and like costumes were not built for that kind of cold. It was also like storming that day, and it was snowing. And we were there for 2 days, and the first take that we did, it was like a 12-page scene too. So we were covered in blankets, and they would call action, and take the blankets off of us and run. And we went through the whole scene the first time, and as soon as they yelled cut, I grabbed Mary, put my head in her shoulder, and burst into tears. Because I think my body went into shock. Like I was like, Mary, I can't feel my bones. Don't let them see my face. Like, don't let them see me cry. No one can know. Just let them cry. I was freezing. And I have so much respect. I'm a California kid. I'm a desert kid. It's so cool.
Oh, so you were like, Mary, don't let them see my frozen tears.
You can't let them see me cry.
And you were in sunny California.
We shoot in California. I did shoot a series in Toronto though 100 years ago. And you know what, I'm a native New Yorker, so I love the cold, and I have a years in New York, and then I had a Siberian Husky, so my Husky loved the snow and loved Cabbagetown and all that stuff. So yeah, it was fun.
I'm a New Yorker too, but
Okay, honey, but I know you're a gentle New Yorker. That's my brother. That's my brother. I understand. You should be on the islands, honey. Islands.
that's where I was going. Now listen, I am a confident.
I am losing control.
We were built for palm trees.
Just look at us, right?
I mean, actual palm trees, you know, because the ones in LA, they were brought over there. Actual palm trees, you know, I enjoy a rainforest.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next question.
Yes.
I'm exhausted. This cold was rough for me, that's all.
How's it going, everybody? Number one, I just want to say can we all be happy that more Trek is on TV?
Yes.
And secondly, wondering if Wilson is going to bring any of that salsa dancing from yesterday to Culver. And I have video of it if you want to see it. It was really good.
Thank you. Not yet. Never say never. Isn't that what Serena said last night?
She did say never
She said never say never. Anyway, I will say this, that
He's looking at me like, I know what he's going to say.
I will say it. Actually, I take it back.
You can.
I would say, I love my child.
Okay. All right. Next question. Okay, next question, please. Michelle's like, take it, go. Okay.
Hi, my name is Candace, and I got to see most of the cast of Discovery last year when I came out as I last year. And, sorry, I don't know why I'm crying. And the stories that have been portrayed let me learn so much about myself and be more comfortable in that. But I've learned through Blue, through your story, that I still had a lot to learn. And I just wanted to thank you for that portrayal. And I just wanted to know how much of yourself you got to put in the story with the trail and everything.
Are we eating?
Wait, what was the last bit? How much of yourself did you get to share within the story of the trail and then, you know, what it was like for you? How much did you get to share with yourself basically?
A lot. Thank you for that, and thank you for being here, and I think thank you. A lot, I think, a lot. I was not fully out when I started this show. Auditioning was part of my way of telling even one person, which was my agent, that I was queer in some way, not expecting that I would get the role. And then I did, and then I came here, and everybody was so wonderful and caring, including the writers, and that's why I feel like I had a real part in making Adira who I wanted Adira to be, which at the time was really a lot of me. It was just a handful of me, and a culmination of all of the male and sort of gender-queer coded characters that I played as a kid, because I was more allowed to when, 7 or 8, that I didn't understand why I drifted towards so much. And so I think Adira became a culmination of all of those characters. And I got to look at all of those in my head and remember playing all of them, and remember, playing Sebastian, Shakespeare as an 8, 9-year-old, and putting that into Adira, and then sort of getting to give myself space that I hadn't gotten to just exist the way I felt I wanted to exist and express the way I wanted to express. But just do it on a really big TV show. That was
Millions and millions of people will watch.
not where I was planning to do that. But it ended up being a really big gift because other people got to see that, and other people got to resonate with that, and other people got to watch not just Adira grow, but me grow. And so in that way, I didn't really think of this as maybe the most transparent character I'll ever play, no pun intended, but and yeah, it's something I wanted. It's something I wanted when I was a kid. And if I'd seen it, I would have, things would have been really different. But I'm glad that there are people telling me that now who were my age. And I'm rambling, but yeah, that your question and what you said means a lot to me. And thank you for saying it.
Yeah, Thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for resonating, and thank you for baking as well. Next question, please.
Hi, I'm really glad you're talking about the progressive nature of Star Trek. It's definitely like played that role in my life of like pushing my ideology forward. And I think all science fiction should do that. So that being the case, like, what do you say to the unfortunate people like on the internet who say Discovery is like too progressive? And also, don't you think that Star Wars is for jocks? So I'd like to know, who thought that being a warrior for social justice would ever be a bad thing? Like, why did that become like an insult? And why did the idea of being awake to things ever, why is that ever a bad
God.
thing? You want to stay asleep? Okay, you can stay asleep. So I don't really pay them much mind, honestly. If they want to, you know, if that's what they're gonna, that's the hill they're gonna die on, then they're gonna be probably sort of lonely and annoyed with themselves up on that hill.
Okay.
Not everything is for everybody. I think there's a lot of television out there. Yeah. There's a lot of Trek out there.
I want to piggyback and say that I'm finding this ironic that I'm saying this because I am someone who gets really angry at those people, and I have a lot of pent-up anger that it's hard for me to stay quiet and not want to get immediately angry. But I have so much genuine love and care and respect for the people who show those folks love and kindness and care, because that's where a lot
They
of that
burn
is
down
coming
buildings.
from, is not
God's
receiving
sakes.
enough of that, not getting that from any other point in their life. And I see that all the time, that there are also people on social media who are the most patient human beings in the world, who will approach those comments of just vitriol and hatred with like, hey, if you ever need to talk about something, I'm here. You might not ever message me, but if you want to. Those kinds of people are godsends and just, I mean, yeah, I have all the love in the world for those people.
You're absolutely right. Just, you know, if you meet, if someone's coming up to you, I mean, we both, you say that you have, I have so much rage inside of me. But when you know, engage, when you interact with people like that, if you engage at that level of that vitriol, that anger, that rage, it goes nowhere, and it actually helps flame theirs, right? It's like pouring gasoline. So just like you said, to have grace and patience and hold space and just say, you know, okay, no, off you go, say what you need to say, fine. I'll just be over here trying to live the right life on the right side of the world, being calm, full of love and hope. Join me when you can.
Whatever.
It takes a lot of courage and a lot of patience to show empathy towards people.
Oh my
It
goodness,
really
it
does.
does.
Yeah,
And kindness is powerful.
It really is. Because what are they going to do when you show them love and kindness? They can't keep yelling at you. Yeah, I mean, I spent probably 75 hours after I made a tweet about, it was the United States Patent Organization had revoked the name Redskins from the Washington Redskins team, and I said, bravo! And I had all these people coming down on me. And I spent literally 70 hours responding to every person. I got people's home phone numbers. I called them at home, and after every conversation, like, okay, you're actually pretty cool. Like, that's all. And I squashed it with every, never mind. With kindness the whole way. They couldn't say anything bad after that. Yeah. All right, next question. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming.
This
So over
turned
the last
into
few
a
years,
socialist
lots of
gathering.
people felt isolated, apart from each other, and I was able to take that time to get caught up on your shows. So I was wondering, what were you watching? Because there is a lot of TV out there.
That's a great question. That's a great question. Michelle, let's start with you. What were you watching during the pandemic?
Oh my gosh, everything. What did I not watch during the
What did you
pandemic?
binge the most?
Gosh, I mean, I did. Well, no, The Bear is now. I love sci-fi, so I think I definitely caught up with all this, obviously, and Lower Deck, and like everything. I'm trying to think of like what was happening back in the day in the pandemic.
There's sex education. That's
Sex education, we did that. Let's just name things.
Insecure.
Insecure.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso, yep.
The Crown.
Oh, The Crown, oh yes.
That's with Diana. Come on.
Oh wait, what's the one with Fanning? The Great.
The Great.
So fun.
Was it
Mrs. Maisel, absolutely.
the show You?
Fleabag.
It was great. Fleabag was
Fleabag.
Fleabag, yeah.
Well, I got caught up with it in the pandemic. That was the question.
That's right. We got cut off. And by the way, that was our master plan, was to have the pandemic so that you guys would all get
Oh,
caught
never
up
have
on
I
our
ever.
show.
Never have I ever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, babies, don't Queen's Gambit.
Does anybody watch the show Dark?
The Man Who Fell from Earth.
That's right. And Sandman right now.
Sandman.
Yes, I did. Station 11.
Sandman is the boat.
It's the boat.
All right, we have one more question right now. One more question, thank you. And for those of you who did not get a chance to ask questions, these fine folks will be back at their table with the Walk of Fame, so please come over and ask your question there if you missed it. I had a question, go ahead.
Great, thank you. First of all, thank you, Wilson, for the always wonderful Church of Reverend Cruz session here.
Hallelujah.
But, so we talk a lot about the impact that you've had on all of us in society and Trek and things, but it's a question for everybody. How has your time acting on Trek changed you as a person? What has it taught you about yourself?
It's interesting. Somebody asked me yesterday on the panel, like, what was my hobbies? Like, what are my hobbies? And I was like, what are my hobbies? Because honestly, and Anthony Rapp knows this very well, I spend a majority of my time doing union work and trying to empower and keep safe the people that are needing the most. And I think there's something about Rocky and about Michelle that's very similar there. You know, it's a maternal kind of instinct that I have, that I don't suffer fools, and I cannot be silent when I see injustice. And so that's what, that's where it blends for me. If I can, do the work that Star Trek does in entertaining and telling those different stories, and if I can do that in my real world of actually changing legislation, making laws. One of the things I'm working on right now is the Crown Act, which if you don't know what that is, it's my hair. It's coming out my hair. It's not no nothing, it's my natural hair. Crown is to create a respectful world for natural hair rather. And we need to do that, right? Because we need to encourage ourselves to embrace all the different kind of beauty, because there's not just one type of beauty, a concept of beauty that maybe not any of us, half of us were included in. So let's bring back what beauty is, which is all diversity. So for me, it's trying to work as best I can to help as many as I can. I'm not interested in the few, I'm interested in the many.
Thanks.
I think in the same vein, and it's something that we were talking about before this morning in the green room, I think I grew up and I spent a lot of time feeling like I could only do things by myself. I can only do things the way that I needed to do them, and that nobody else could help me, and I couldn't help anybody else. And it just was very one-track minded. And these folks have shown me very much that you can do both this and that, and a lot of that work, and make a lot of change that way. And have shown me that, I am a hothead, and I got a lot of stuff repressed, and I got a lot of anger and a lot of opinions, but they're showing me that I can put that to good use, and not just, isolate myself with it, that it is beneficial to other people, that it is beneficial to other people that are like me, that there is not just me, because, when I was young, I thought it was just me, and now I'm like, oh no, it's not just me. So,
I love that.
yeah.
I think just in general, before this job, I think before Trek, I wasn't really thinking about what it was that I was leaving behind, right? What am I don't have any kids, you know, probably not gonna have any kids. So what am I doing for, like, literally, like, my point is, which is this, that I wanted to invest in our next generation. So I am on the national board of an organization called GLISTEN, which works through the school system to support LGBTQ students at school, so that every school in this country could be a safe space for our kids to learn and to be safe in that learning. Something that we have been on the front lines of fighting these absurd laws in Florida with Mr. DeSantis.
Oh my God.
So,
give me a break.
You know, when people are talking about, when we're hearing about people in the next few months who are going to be throwing their hats in the ring to be the next president of the United States, please understand that Ron DeSantis is on the devil, is determined to do what he is doing in Florida in the rest of this country, and what that will do to the learning experience of queer students across this country. As if it hasn't been hard enough to just be educated in the last 2 years, now you're going to tell me when I go back to school, I can't feel supported, I can't be who I am, I can't have the safe space that I don't necessarily have at home anymore? No. It reminded me about that we are in charge of our future. So what my legacy, what am I leaving behind? I'm leaving this. There you go. Anthony?
I've been acting since I was 9 years old, really long time. And in all those years, I'd never done like a regular role on a TV show. And it's really amazing to get to learn that you can take a character through time and life experiences, and they can grow and evolve and change. And that's been an incredible gift. And I've been learning, I this sort of sense of, parental energy that has been also a beautiful gift, like learning that I have, that some kind of parental capabilities. Who's an adult, but we are kind of parents too. Who has real parents? I'm just saying, but we're like,
I have gay dads.
That's really special. In all this time too, I've been joining in the leadership of the union. It's been amazing to see in our country the movement toward the labor movement is active again, and it's all part of what we talked about earlier. Everybody's awake to these corporations are only making money because they're not taking care of they're making it on the backs of the workers. So it's just a fact. That's not hyperbole, that's just the way it is. And so we can't do it without the other. We all can rise together. And so to be a part of anything that's helping to make the world safer and better for everyone is an honor.
Okay, we're gonna do one last thing after we wrap. We're gonna take a selfie with you guys in the back here. So we're gonna stand in front, and then we'll turn around and you can take a picture of us. So all of the actors can come over here.
Ha ha ha. This is Scorpion with Scorpion Core Universe signing out
Thank you,
on
everybody.
Discovery.
A lot of love for Michelle Hurd, Blue Hill Bower.